Okay.
Take it away. Laura?
Can you press? Thanks. So initially we had to come up with our 3 ideas for music videos and choose our own songs and stuff. And so the ideas that I pitched was the song Sunshine by Dresses, When My Day Comes by Tribes, and a cover of Arctic Monkeys song Don't Wanna Know by Girls on Drugs. Next one, please. My first concept, the key feedback was that because it was kind of like a runaway couple to Brighton, that the people in my school would have been too young, so there would have been a difficulty with casting. And in order to go with the song, it would need to be like a really sunny, fun, kind of warm day. But because we'd be filming in November and British weather's really temperamental, it'd be highly unlikely that we would get the kind of day that we really needed to shoot. And then it would have needed to be shot in public locations like bed and breakfasts and pubs and just kind of all around Brighton really. And then that may have been disruptive to other Brighton goers, and it would be difficult to get the permission that we needed to use it. And so that was the key feedback, and it was all pretty negative, so therefore it was unsuccessful. My second concept was actually successful, and then there were only really 2 elements to it, and so it was said that it could be quite boring if it just kept on cutting back and forth between 2 different things. And then it had this idea of a rose and the petals falling that I was inspired by Beauty and the Beast, but that was deemed as too cliche, and if we were to when this idea went into the development stage, that was something that I really needed to focus on to come up with something more interesting. Next slide, please. And my third concept was this stop motion kind of film. I didn't really think about too much into it, but as the feedback kind of speaks for itself, it says that stop motion would be incredibly difficult to film and edit, especially as I was planning to use real live people. And then it was meant to be a band touring around the country, and then that would be pretty difficult to shoot in one day, and again the casting would be difficult as the majority of people in the school would look too young, and so that verdict was unsuccessful. And so the development of our chosen ideas in my development group was my idea, Do I Want to Know, and Bella's tribal dubstep Skrillex kind of song. I kind of struggled to develop my initial idea further, and I suggested things like red ink running down the studio screen, but when I did present this idea, it received a fair amount of negative feedback, and that the idea was still too boring and cliche, and so it was Bella's idea that was green-lighted. I wasn't really a fan of the concept of Bella's music video, nor was I a fan of the song, and so I changed to a different development group that was more suited to my visions and more my music style, and this was Kill the Director by the Wombats. The reason why I liked the idea so much was the 360-degree pan shot which Victoria pitched, that she was inspired by the Vamps, and I knew that Luke really liked it because it was something that he kept on mentioning when he was giving her feedback, so I was intrigued by this idea. When we were doing the rough cut phase, we gathered a group of 16 to 18-year-olds, both girls and boys, and we showed the rough cut of our Digipack website and music video, and then we recorded both voice recorded and video recorded to ensure that we could get as much feedback as possible. We'd be able to see their facial expression and hear their views. Yeah. The Digipack feedback, we wanted to know if they could kind of gather the general vibe of our band just by looking at the feedback, and then most of them could, and then they said that it was cool and fun, and they compared it to people like the Kooks and Vampire Weekend, which is what we were really trying to encapsulate. However, we did get some comparative to boy bands like One Direction, and that wasn't really what we were going for, and so we knew that we would need to kind of go back to the drawing board and just see what we could do with it to kind of make it more of our own. For the website, it was very different to the Digipack, which was what the group saw first, And then this was brought up pretty much straight away, that one student even said that they could almost be two different bands, that they were so different. So I was really conscious that we were going to be two boy bands, so I think I went a bit far, making it really moody, really bit more dark. However, it was also mentioned that a lot of students liked this more serious side of the band, and that they liked seeing how they had two different sides, and therefore they could appeal to a wider audience. So I knew that I would have to keep some kind of serious element in the website when I went back to change it. And for the video, it received a very positive reaction, and it showed both their serious side and their more fun and quirky side, which kind of, a lot of people said that it drew the website and the digipack together, and the majority of people understood the concept, so we knew that we were going along the right lines with our kind of lack of narrative, and then all the colours were very well received, especially as they were the same colours used in the digipack. That was very popular amongst the students of the focus group, so yeah. And then after we finished all our final products, they were sent to the Jewish School in London, and in order for us to get unbiased audience feedback, we came up with 4 questions using SurveyMonkey, and which they could just type their responses to. Next slide, please. The first question was, what acts are these products similar to? And then we were compared to many artists such as The Kooks, Scouting for Girls, Hoosiers in 1975, and they were all indie pop bands, which we were really happy with. And then majority of students understood the concept of the video, and they were described as having laddish behaviour quite often. That wasn't exactly what we were going for, but again, it wasn't what we weren't going for, so we weren't opposed to this description. There was a complaint that the narrative didn't really show the concept much, but that was only one out of all the other students, so it's only a minority opinion. And then all the website digipack and video were all seen as favourite products by different people. The bright colours were popular, and the post-it notes on the websites, and everyone really liked the geometrical cover of the digipack, and the video was described as really quirky, really fun, and quite exciting to watch. And then the products, the most common used words to describe the products were alternative, quirky and fun, and this was exactly what we were going for with our products, and so we were very happy with this feedback. That's it.
Does anyone have any questions? Laura, what do you think, out of looking at the whole process, it's sort of three or so months, what would you say kind of the most 1 or 2 important things that you found out from the audience that you didn't know already? Did you find out anything that you didn't know?
Yeah, definitely in the focus group stage that the products